everybody. My name is Regina Bryan, and welcome to the Women of Empowered Living. And my guest today is the delightful Munira Zahabi. Hey there, Munira. How are you today?
Thank you so much for having me, Regina. How are you?
I'm great. So now, where are you joining me from?
Chicagoland. So greetings from
Chicagoland.
Chicagoland.
We're so happy to have you. How cold is it in Chicagoland today?
It's cold. I haven't gone out there for a week, so I don't want to know, but it's cold.
I love it. We're still in that great in between phase here in Atlanta, so the weather's pretty great. Um, Thank you so much for joining me today. As a member of this community, as a member of the John Maxwell team, I love hearing stories and tapping into what our community members are up to. But before we get to all that, I want to talk to you from a personal level, if we can. We all know that 2020 has been a very trying year for most of us, right? All of us were impacted by this pandemic. And yet you were also impacted by a personal heartbreak, a hardship. Can you tell us how 2020 started out for you?
On the eve of New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, my husband and I fell asleep, didn't wake up till 3 o'clock because we were up since 4 o'clock in the morning. And I told him, "Hey, Happy New Year." And he goes, "Yeah." And I was like, "This is my year. This is going to be it." And he goes,
Right.
"Okay, I'm just tired. I'm going to go to sleep." And he was a kidney patient. He had other things that were wrong with him, and he was on dialysis. And on the 5th, we had doctor appointments on the 3rd, on the 4th, and on the 5th, I took him to the ER of the hospital here, and he passed away in ICU on the 7th.
On January 5th.
January 5th, I took him in, and 7th, he passed away. So it was not what I planned, but it was what God had planned for me. So 7 days into the new year, my world as I knew it shattered.
It sure did. I mean, I just want to offer you our deepest condolences. When you share that with me, I thought you've really experienced tremendous difficulty this year. What were those first couple of months like, and then the moving into this pandemic state that we've been living in?
Just as I lost my husband, I had a lot of things I had to finish, like do the taxes, take care of his business. And in our culture, women go into a seclusion period to heal from the grief for 4.5 months. And
Wow.
we are not given a choice. We have to do it either sooner or later. And
So this is your culture. So you actually have to go into that period of seclusion.
yeah, and it cleanses you. It's a 4.5 month period of seclusion, but it allows you to deal with the grief and allows you to be that person so that other people don't see you as a party goer or whatever, and
That's a lot of wisdom packed in that.
there is. And so most Islamic sectors will do this, and women will do the seclusion. And because just then we were hearing about the virus in Wuhan and it's coming here, and then all of a sudden now it's here. I had 1 month window before I could go into seclusion, and I decided to pick my own dates. But I did what I had to do my taxes and close up the businesses,
Right.
because there were so many things. My husband was a business owner, and we had to finish all of that stuff before I decided that I'm not going to talk to anybody.
Right.
And so that's what happened. So in that time, I had heard that there were different groups of women out there who could, you could join and just be a support group for you. And I was thinking, that's a good thing. I should do that, right? Now that Wuhan, the virus is
Yeah,
here.
sounds like a smart idea.
So I joined a few groups, and I was shocked. There was no hand holding or being supportive because you've gone through this. I can help you do this. No, people were at each other's throats. They were just mad. And the thing is, I think some people deal with grief that way. They're just
Sure.
mad. But there was a lot of women who were just stopped in time, stagnant. They did not want to move forward. There was a few women who said that it's been 10 years and I haven't moved any of his clothes out or anything. And they
Wow.
were like trapped in that time phase. And for me, it was just like, I can't do this. I will not be able to live like this. So I stopped going. I just exited out of those Facebook groups. And then I started looking at John Maxwell groups, and I see people are doing so well. And, John had his every week he was doing the Monday calls, and he had
Yeah.
all the 45 minutes of wisdom. And I was like, there's so many people who are doing so many things. I need to just get off the couch and stop crying. Because one lady that I know very well, she called me and she says, listen to me. This is her advice to me. She says, listen to me. I know your heart is broken and I
Oh,
know you have a scar, but that doesn't mean you don't live. The person that you are piping for is gone, and he's gone. So once he's gone, you think of it as a broken vessel that you put it in the garbage, and you think about it once in a while, but don't don't refuse yourself another cup of coffee just because the cup is broken. Don't forget the coffee. That's what she said.
what were you thinking as she was saying this to
I
you?
hated her for that. I was like, what are you talking about? But those were harsh, wise words, because my husband's gone. It took me a lot of time, 6 months into this, when I realized he's gone. I have been left here to live, and I have to live life on my terms. Now, on my terms. So it opened, just one day I just opened my eyes and I had that realization, and I said, okay, so this is how I'm going to do it. And the past 3 years were very, very hard because I was always in doctors' offices and working on that. And I come from a pharma background, so I knew a lot of stuff and I knew healthcare as such. But it's always hard when you are the consumer of a product. It's always hard. So I would sit down thinking about thoughts, work on, we are John Maxwell coaches and we want to bring leadership and change to everybody. So I would see things and I would just write little notes, and that became my book. Because what I did was I took all those notes. I was looking at Google Drive one day and I saw all of these documents here, there, and everything, and I put it all into one. Because you got to do something, because you can't go out. The virus is out and rampaging the world. So you have to do something. So I started to clean up my Google Drive. And that's when all of those notes came together. And I had this epiphany to create my book. And that's what I did.
Wow. But let's back up. You talked about John Maxwell and the John Maxwell team. When did you join the team?
2017.
2017. Okay, so you've been a member for 3 years or so now.
Actually, 2016, because I joined around October, and then my
Okay.
first IMC was 17.
Oh, okay. We were there. And how did you find your way to empowered living?
I guess we follow Paul, and where Paul went, we just went. I don't know. People were like, "Oh, he's doing this," or I Think and Grow Rich started it all. I don't even remember, but he was like, "I'm doing this. Come join me." And of course, you want to see. But Think and Grow Rich is now changing for me because this is my 17th time reading the book.
Wait a
And
minute.
I'm looking
Munera,
at,
this is your 17th time reading Think and Grow Rich?
oh yeah.
Wow.
Because what happened was, if Paul could read it all his life and he has that frayed copy, why not me, right? So
That's
my
right.
copy is really good. I don't write on my books, but I've read it, and each time I read it, I find new perspective. So I guess it's the season of your life book, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, I love that. I don't think I've ever heard it put that way before. It's the season of your life book.
Yes.
I love that. So you have, as you're a John Maxwell team member, and then this year you're dealing with incredible hardship, but that didn't stop you from working in your business, and you have such a unique specialty. You are the niche navigator. And I love that. How in the world did you come up with that?
That's an incredible story. I, when you go into all these groups, and I'm not talking about just John Maxwell, but different
Right.
coaches, you go into these coaching groups where like-minded people gather, and you realize that each one is talking a good game and everybody's so successful, but they have to. So there was three things that I noticed in the group. One group was very, very successful, and they were sharing their successes with the world. One group was very, very quiet, and one group was people who wanted to be the success people, but was still trying to figure it out.
Okay.
And so then after Paul did his, I think and Grow Rich, the first two times, I got invited to go to a John Maxwell member who had his own group. And he said, come learn this book with me. And I said, okay, what does it work? So he started his own funnel. We went for a free ride to another free ride to a 199 ride. And you know how that goes. And then he invited us to go to New York.
Oh, wow.
Because the Carnegie Hall is there. I mean, that was a wonderful trip. 28 of us got there. But when we were put on a hot seat to figure out what we were supposed to do in our life, the purpose and the discover your why thing,
Right.
I think only six, or not even six people knew what they were doing.
So there's 28 of you there sitting together. You're going to speak about your why and your purpose. And you're saying that not even really six could come up with that.
The vision that they have is very narrow, right? And so I started looking at different things that each one was doing. And that's when I realized that my podcast is a wonderful place to go and talk to people. So I have a podcast called Munira's Musings,
which is so delightful. I've listened to a couple of them, and you are wonderful at that.
Thank you. And what I do is my podcast gives me the permission to be nosy without being nosy. I want to know the secret to everybody's success.
Munira, that is brilliant. A podcast gives you permission to be nosy.
Well, if you ask people questions, they look at you funny. But if they're on camera, they want to talk about themselves.
That is so great. I love that. Brilliant. Brilliant.
And this is my 300th episode. It's going to air next week. And then I start my 4th season. But
oh my gosh.
I just go by episodes. But
That's
these are
incredible.
all these people who have a niche, right?
Right.
I want to know what their secret is. What's the secret sauce? I haven't yet found.
Yes, tell us, because we all want to know the secret sauce.
But we haven't found out yet. But here's the thing. Everybody, those people who have a niche now haven't given up. So coming back to the niche, I started talking to the people, and they got all those 20, out of those 28, most of them came to my podcast. And after talking to them, we had a sidebar, not recorded, but we started talking. And I realized that these people had awesome skills. I mean, every one of us is talented, but they don't see the talents. That's number one.
Ooh, that's huge. So number one thing that you picked up on is everybody has the talent, but we don't all see that talent.
No. And then there's some people who sit on a gold mine, literally a gold mine, but don't see it. So I'll give you 2 examples.
Okay.
One lady had her husband passed away, and she lived in a bigger house, so she now had to go smaller. And when she found the house that she could afford, she had to declutter the big house only to take stuff from her only things that she needed to come into the small house.
Okay.
So declutter, but only she had to get rid of most of his things, everything. But she had to not only declutter the house, she had to declutter the mind.
Declutter the house and the mind.
Yes.
Wonderful.
She decided and then she was in a BNA group. What she was telling me was, Munira, I don't know how to take this 15 laws. I like this book. I want to take the 15 laws and I want to teach to the world. Okay, teach it to the world. But nobody wants to come to a mastermind because they're grieving. How about you take, then when she told me this, and after we were talking, and I said, how many people do you belong to a bereavement group or something? And she goes, yeah, there's 20 of us that session that I go to. And I said, men, women? And she goes, both. And I said, why don't you take and teach them how to declutter their mind and their house?
That is so good.
And so instead of, taking the 15 laws per se, why don't you use it in an example and just tell people? I said, just go tell them, today, this is what I cleaned out, and this is what I cleaned out here.
That is so powerful. So what you're saying, Munira, is you were talking with her instead of just saying, here are the 15 laws, because as John Maxwell team members, we all can say that. But to really show her group how she's using it to declutter her mind.
The 3 laws that I absolutely love is awareness, the law of the mirror.
Yes.
Right? And
yes.
The intention. So what's your intention? You want to empower people, right?
Right.
What's your awareness? What is it that you have? And John says it all the time. You cannot give what you don't have, right?
True.
And the mirror is like, what do you see today in the mirror? What do you see? And today you see yourself as a widow who wants to go help people. Go do that. Your niche can change because of the seasons, of the climate and the changes in your life. But you have to take what is happening to you right now. And that's what I saw with her.
Gosh, I so love that. You're helping people find their niche by talking about what they're working on or what they're going through right now.
Oh, yeah.
That's so good. That's so awesome.
We sit down and we think, like, I was in corporate, right? Corporate America. I was working with a Fortune 17 company.
Ooh, Fortune 17.
Fortune 17. It was either 16 or 17. So if you want to go check it out, it was my dream company. But they did not even flicker when they had to lay me off. They didn't even flicker. So if they can do that, and I have accumulated all these skills, why can't I go take those skills and impact people? Right?
Wow. You make it sound so easy.
It is easy because but most of us, we see things with other people's glasses. We don't have, I don't know who wears the rose-colored glasses. I can't. But if you're wearing those rose-colored glasses, clear them. So that's
your rose-colored glasses. That's a big lesson for today.
So then the second one lady was, she told me she had been let go from her. She used to work in a doctor's office, dental office, something. And she had just purchased her grandmother's home in Italy. But she wanted to go back to the office that laid her off and teach them leadership stuff. Who in their right mind in a dentist office wants to listen to leadership stuff? I come from healthcare. I know they don't listen.
No.
Right? I mean, I can tell you that all day, but that's number one. Number two, wait. What are you saying to me? You have a house that you are renovating in Italy?
Which is pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Like, what can you do with that house? What are you going to do with it? I don't know. I haven't decided it. Can you turn into like a retreat thing? Like, who doesn't want to go to Italy? And she speaks the language, she knows the food, she knows the people, she knows the places to go have fun, and then the tourist attractions. Like, if I was given that and I was told to pay $5,000, I would go in a jiffy.
Oh, me too.
All right. So, and I'm like, what are you doing? You want to go teach people stuff that they don't want to learn? Take people on this journey, because what are you going to learn? You're going to make friends. You're going to learn more about people. You can take couples, you can take teenagers, you can take ladies, you can take divorced women, you can take. And I kept giving her these ideas, and she's just sat there with her mouth dropped open. And I said, I can navigate this all for you. And that's when, and I said, this is your niche, and you don't know this, but I know how to navigate your niche for you. And I was like, ooh, that's good. That's where I'm going to coin this. I'm going to niche navigator. So that's how that came about. But I see potential in people. Every day I talk to three different people who come and ask me, I don't know what to do. Wait. Don't tell me what you don't know what to do. Let's see what you have. You know, we have so many tools in our toolbox. My husband, my late husband, and this is my second husband, by my first husband too, they work with their hands. The first one was a watch repairer, and the
Okay.
second was a HVAC repairer and, you know, service guy. And they all had tools that I still don't understand what to use for. But my husbands would always tell me, if you don't have tools, you cannot work. Okay, I don't, and even, you know, this is what he said: if you don't have the tools, you cannot work. But if you have the tools and don't know how to use them, that's stupidity.
Ooh, say that one again.
If you don't have the tools, you cannot work. But if you have the tools and don't know how to use them, that's stupidity.
Oh my God, that is so true.
So we have so much stuff, even with John Maxwell, right? We have so many things in our back offices that we
We
sometimes
do.
look for other things. And I am the person to be blamed, because I have gone not only to John and done all of the courses there, but I've gone to this coach and that coach and coach
Mhm.
and coach and
Yep.
coach. And I have got so many things in my box, but half of it I haven't even completed. And those are the tools that I don't know. So this is my stupidity.
I love that you've made your business, your niche, about helping others find their niche. And you're really good at it, by the way. So if you're watching this show today with Munira, you absolutely want to get in contact with her, because this is what she does. She helps people find their specialty through using their story and what they're currently working on and going through in their lives. So the podcast and the book came about because you found this niche that you so love, helping other people.
No, my book was, the podcast came about, I think, 3.5 years ago. But the book is new, because what I did was, how do I tell people? You know, first there was a craze about everybody else writing a book, so I wanted to get on that bandwagon too. But I had the stuff, I had done it, right? So why don't take the things that I have learned, put it in a book, so that if nobody wants to talk to me, they can come and read the book. And it's simple read. If you are a fast reader, you can finish it in 2 hours.
Oh, awesome. And what's the name of your book? I know it just recently came out. It's the niche,
Oops, I need to show
the
you. It's
philosophy of
philosophy
niche
of
principles.
niche principles.
We can see that philosophy of niche principles. And all we have to do is type in your name on Amazon and that book comes up.
Yes, and so right now it's on Amazon. But the thing is, most people, you know, and then I was getting also the story behind the niche navigator is also that you hear people doing businesses or starting something, and then they tell me it doesn't work.
Right.
Wait a minute. And then I heard somebody say that most businesses are closed within a first year, and then most businesses are never to be heard of after 5. And I'm like, what is going on? Why can't they just keep going on? And this is why, because they haven't nailed their niche.
I mean, Munera, you are like a breath of fresh air. I feel like listening to you, I honestly feel like I'm hearing some of this for the very first time. And I'm thinking, why has this taken me so long to understand that truly every time we hear that the riches are in the niches, that that's the truth.
It is. It
And
is.
and you're building your business quite successfully doing this for others.
Oh, yes.
So what are you most excited about that's on the horizon for you and for your business?
Well, right now, I'm very, very excited about the JMT marketing system. Ooh,
Yes.
I'm doing so many things with it. It's not even funny. I'm also helping others who have not jumped in with the software. I have never been this excited about a software before.
We
Before
can
when I
tell.
first
We
came.
can totally feel your excitement. If I get stuck, I'm calling you.
No, please do, because I keep asking them questions. It's like Christy and Jen at the at the chat box. They know me, like, and I call them my VFM because my
Oh gosh.
because that's what they are, and they are there to answer questions. And every time I get stuck, and then Michael Pope is another one. He's like, oh, let
Oh,
me help.
he's been awesome. He has been
Yeah.
all over it.
The thing is, we have such a powerful tool that people don't even know that what they are sitting on, because all this time we didn't have such a thing. All this time I was still figuring out ClickFunnels, and ClickFunnels to me is so confusing. But this one just click, 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 and oh, done.
I mean, you're so right. Think about all the people that joined. I mean, this is such a perfect example for what you've been telling us today. That all the people joined the marketing system, and even those who didn't, you don't even know what you have that you're sitting on. And
Oh,
that's your specialty. You are the kind of person who comes along, knows everything about it, and then lets us know how we can best use it in our lives and in our business. That's just what you do.
thank you, thank you. But and I thank you for recognizing that. But the thing is, I just enjoy this, and the thing is,
You can
I
tell your excitement is contagious.
the fact is, I had MailChimp here, then I had a Google form over there, and something to collect my email here. I mean, yes, you can have many, many uh, cups, if you will, and collect the rainwater. But how about you just put it out, put a big drum out there and collect it from there? And it's so amazing that this happens, right? And the campaigns are, you can change them, you can do whatever you want, but that's later. I mean, if you're not
Right.
comfortable about changing anything, don't. Just do the same thing. So this year, I've been listening to a lot of coaches, which I need to curb again. So this is my curbing year. Next year, no more coaches, no more purchases. But this year, I listened to a few people that have given me the tools to make next year a good one.
That is so true. Munira, you're so delightful, and I can feel your passion. And I just have to tell everybody watching today, Munira is exactly the person that you want to reach out and speak with and connect with, because she really does help you find the gold mine that you're sitting on. Munira, we're going to make sure that in the comments on Facebook, everybody has your contact information. How would we find you, and how would we find your podcast?
Well, just find Munira Zahabi uh, on any of the Google search it. There's only one in the world that comes up.
It was very easy to find you, by the way. You're right.
And my podcast is called Munira's Musings. I'm on YouTube, and I have a separate page on Facebook for that. See, marketing, nobody teaches me stuff. I just do my own thing. And so I've got pages here and there and everywhere else, but I do my Facebook lives. So if you want to catch them on my page, I
Oh,
do
fantastic.
it
On your personal
on
page.
my personal page. So
Okay, so we just reach out to you and become Facebook friends with you, and we can really start to connect with you.
yeah, or go to Munira's Musings or YouTube. And if you want to be on my show, please do.
Oh, how perfect. Munira's looking for guests, you guys. Definitely connect with her. Munira, again, you're so delightful. Your energy is contagious. I want to wrap up by asking you a question that we love to ask all of our guests here. And that's, what does an empowered life mean to you?
To me, it means live in the moment. That's what I would say, because the thing is, we don't know how much time we have in life, and I've lost too many people trying to figure life. So you know what, do what makes you happy. Do what you are supposed to do. Don't wait for another date, another time, or when you're retired, or when you have money. Money is a byproduct of whatever you do. So plan it, and get it done.
I love that. Munira, you are so wise, and I'm grateful that you and I were able to connect. I can see why you're so good at what you do. Ladies and gentlemen watching today, Munira Zahabi, Munira's Musings, this is a lady that you want to get connected with. Thank you so much for being a part of our show today, Munira.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Honored and humbled.
Oh, wonderful. Everybody, thank you for tuning in today, and we're going to see you back here real soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.